The new version of Final Cut Pro just dropped, and you guys, this is the big one. This is the one you've been waiting for. And this isn't just version 10.8.2. It's not even version 10.9. We have jumped all the way to Final Cut Pro 11. That is how jam-packed with new features this version of Final Cut Pro is. Let's first start with what I'm most excited about, a new AI-powered native rotoscope called Magnetic Mask. The new magnetic mask is totally banging. You can access this feature in a few different ways in your UI. You can find it here in the effects browser under masks and keying. Here it is. You can also find it in the magic wand menu at the bottom of the viewer. This is where I've been reaching for it most often. Or if you're an absolute monster, I guess, you could go up to the modify menu at the top of the screen and select add magnetic mask here. So now let's try it out. Down on my timeline, I'm going to select this clip, hold down the Option key, and click and drag to make a duplicate. And I'm going to select that bottom clip and disable it by hitting the V key. And then let's select that top clip. Now, like I said, most often I've been accessing the magnetic mask in the magic wand menu here. So let's do that. And now you can see in my viewer, I have all of these new overlays, and my cursor, when I'm hovering over the viewer, now becomes this eyedropper. So I'm just going to click on the areas in the frame that I want to select with the magnetic mask. And you can see I've gotten the negative space between the woman and the horse here. So I'm going to hold down the Option key and click in there to deselect that area. And then I'm going to do some other clicking just to make sure I get the rest of the horse. Okay, this looks good to me. Now all I need to do is hit the Analyze button, and I get a progress window pop-up, and you can see I now have the magnetic mask editor in my timeline on my clip, and it's going to track forward from the point where I set my mask, and then it's going to track backward from there as well. All right, now to see the results of our efforts, we're just going to hit the Done button, and there is our tracked video. Now I'm going to enable the bottom clip underneath, and then in the color inspector, let's just dial down the saturation on the background and take a look. I mean, these results are pretty astonishing. And you can see that even when the horse's hooves are occluded by the water, Final Cut doesn't lose them. They still continue to be tracked. I mean, that is pretty amazing. But you can do more with the magnetic mask. I'm going to delete our top clip and bring back the saturation on our bottom clip here. And watch this. I'm going to grab the Comic Cool effect right from my effects browser and drag it onto my subject here. Once I drag it, I'm going to get the same tools in the viewer you saw before, so I just need to click and select my subject again, just like you saw me do. Analyze one more time, hit the Done button when the tracking is complete, and now that effect has been applied just to my subject with the magnetic mask. Pretty amazing. There's a lot more to know about the magnetic mask, so I'm going to be dropping a dedicated video about it in about 15 minutes on this channel. All right, let's move on to the next new big update, and this is what a lot of you guys have been asking for: auto-transcribed closed captions. Hallelujah. Now for this to work for you, you're going to need an Apple Silicon chip, and you're going to need to be on the new Sequoia OS or newer if you're watching this in the future. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do what I'm about to show you. First, just select the clips with the audio you want to transcribe, right-click, and select Transcribe to Captions. The first time you do this, it will automatically download the transcription model, but that only happens once. And then you just have to wait a few seconds. And there you go, at the top of your timeline, your video is perfectly transcribed. I have found these transcriptions to be super accurate, and I think you're going to be really happy with them. The next big feature that just dropped in Final Cut Pro 11 is support for stereoscopic video that you may have captured with your iPhone 15 or newer, or the Vision Pro. And so now what you can do is not only view the stereoscopic video in Final Cut Pro, but you can actually edit it to see what it's going to look like in 3D in the Vision Pro. So you'll know your video is stereoscopic because it's got this new cube icon in the top left corner of the thumbnail in the browser. And so what you'll need to do is create a new project, and under the video format, select Spatial Stereo 3D. I'm going to drop this clip down in my timeline, and it looks just like regular video for now. What we can do now is under the view menu at the top of the viewer is navigate down to show stereoscopic as, and you'll see this menu of options here. And if you're not familiar with how stereoscopic video works, it's basically shooting with two cameras, one offset from the other. So one that kind of represents your right eye and one that represents your left eye. And so you can perceive more depth in your videos when you're watching them on something like a Vision Pro. Right now, you're just seeing the right eye by default. If you wanted to see what both eyes were seeing, you would select both eyes and get this 2-up display. But the view I think is most useful is if you select anaglyph, where you can now see these red and blue outlines on everything in the frame. And then if you invest in a pair of old school 3D style glasses like these ones, you can actually see the depth here in Final Cut Pro when you have these overlays turned on. If you're interested in something like this, I'll link to it down below. I got these just on Amazon. Personally, I like to switch this view from anaglyph to anaglyph monochrome. This makes it black and white, and it just makes it a little easier on my eyes. And when you select a stereoscopic clip in your timeline, you get this new option here in your inspector. Let's show it, and we can play with the convergence slider. What this slider does is it moves the whole scene closer to you if you bring it to the left, or further away if you slide it to the right. So this allows you to, for example, add text overlays to your spatial video so that their parallax depth cues don't interfere with the parallax depth cues of the spatial video footage. And it's really essential for helping balance a scene. If you happen to have a pair of 3D glasses, I'm going to give you a little treat right now. I'm just going to play this clip so you can see how it looks. Once you're satisfied, you can now export in the new Apple Vision Pro codec here under the Share menu. And if you're part of my YouTube Premium community or my Patreon community, I do have a special treat for you. I just posted a hack video for turning standard 2D video into retro 3D video that can be viewed with glasses like these ones. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll link to my Patreon down below, or you can join my YouTube community by hitting the join button on my channel homepage or underneath me right here in the video you're watching right now. Let's talk about some new workflow enhancements we got in Final Cut Pro 11. This first one pertains to multicam clips, and I love it. It allows you to hide the original clips after you've used them in multicam clips to reduce clutter in your browser. So you can see here, I've got a 3-camera shoot. And so what I can do is select the 3 clips that go together, right click, new multicam clip, and then right here in this pop-up window, make sure you check hide original clips. Let's keep an eye on our browser while that multicam clip is created. And now you can see those 3 clips are hidden. So I don't have to look at them. I just see my multicam. If you missed that, let's do that one more time. Select, 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 right click, new multicam clip. Hide original clips is automatically selected now because I've already done that once. And those 3 clips disappear from my browser. I love this. Now, if you want to find those clips again, just go up to View, Browser, and Show Hidden Clips. And now all of those original clips are back in my browser. Now, I'm going to go back up to the View menu and uncheck Show Hidden Clips to show you the next new feature in Final Cut Pro 11, which I'm a little less excited about because I think it's going to trip up a lot of editors, especially less experienced editors, which is that you can now hide any clips in your browser. Just select it and right-click Hide Clip, and that clip is gone. I just see a lot of potential for mistakes with this feature. You know, it's one thing with the multicams where you can actually look at your angles and see that the media is still in your library. But if you hide clips and then you forget you hide them and then you want to go back and look for them, I just see potential for a lot of panic here. Another new functional feature I think you're really going to like is the ability to, with a keyboard shortcut, swap the stacking of your connected clips. So I'm selected on this clip here, and if I just hit Option down, it's going to move it down in my connected clips. And if I hit the up arrow, it moves it up. Another new function is down here in the timeline. You know, you can hit the shortcut Shift and Z to fit your clips into the frame lengthwise. But now if you hit the shortcut Shift, Option, and Z, they snap to fit vertically as well. We love this. We also got a bunch of new default keyboard shortcuts, like for renaming timeline clips, showing and hiding audio lanes, trimming edge selections, playing forward and reverse at half speed, and many others. I will link to the official list of keyboard shortcuts from Apple down in the description. Some other cool stuff is that we can now create timelines at 90 frames per second, 100 frames per second, or even 120 frames per second. To access these, you just need to create a new project and set your video format to custom. And now these 3 new frame rate settings are available to you here. Another great workflow enhancement pertains to organizing your clips in the browser when you're on list view. Let's say you wanted to rename a clip. You know what to do. You click on it once, pause for a quick second, and then click on it again to make it editable. And in the past, for every clip you wanted to rename, you had to repeat that process. But now they've streamlined that process a bit. So you just need to click on the first line, pause, and then click on it again to make it editable. But then to jump to the next one, all you have to do is hold down the Option key and arrow down or up. And that automatically not only selects the next line, but it's automatically editable. So for those of you who rename your clips often, this is going to save you a ton of time. Now, surprise, surprise, we also got some new effects and transitions as well. The new effects can be found under the new reframe category here in your effects browser. The first one is called Callout, and it allows you to highlight particular parts of your frame for the viewer. You can modify the outline and the shapes of these callouts and have them build in and build out. I like this callout effect a lot. I think the move on it is really good. Now, this isn't the most robust annotation tool for Final Cut Pro. If you're looking for something more robust with a lot more options, I can recommend one down in the description. But if you don't need annotations and callouts a lot, I think you're going to be super happy with this one. The other new effect is this picture-in-picture effect. I'm going to apply it to this connected clip, and I can change the dimensions of my inset here with these handles, just like I could with the callout effect. And by default, the picture-in-picture will start from full screen and scale down, but you can change that. I'm going to change it to center scale, and so now it animates in like so, and animates out too. And let's also take a look at those new transitions I mentioned. They are under the new modular category in your transitions browser. So I'm going to select this side-by-side split transition. And again, in the inspector, there's a lot of adjustments you can make to the split, but I really like the easing on these transitions. I think they're quite nice. In addition to the side-by-side, there's some other funky shapes and other options as well. In addition to these new effects and transitions, Final Cut Pro also added this support. I'm just going to put this word salad on the screen for you here. Basically, what this means is that Apple has given camera manufacturers the ability to create decoders that make their new codecs compatible with Final Cut Pro. This is great news for all Final Cut editors. And we also got a couple of bug fixes, which I'll put up on the screen here. So what did I tell you? Final Cut Pro 11 is jam-packed with new features, many of which we've been waiting for a very long time. I have to believe that you're thrilled. What are you most excited about? You should also know that Final Cut Pro for iPad also got an update, as did Final Cut Camera. Don't forget that roto tutorial I mentioned. Here's some links I think you'll find interesting. You guys, thanks for hanging out. Cheers to Final Cut Pro 11. I'll see you soon.